Is it basically like just one section? Under 23 and an open? They're like totally different sections. Under 23 instead of under 22 kind of thing. Man, I think my internet is acting hokey again. 185 ping. With a quarter of a brain. I don't think Korchnoi ever had a quarter of a brain. He had a brain operation or something? Are you serious? But Brian Wall under 2300, I don't like his chances. It's not just that he's old, and not because he's old. You know, Brian was always unstable. Like, his game is unstable, you know. He's not the kind of person who you bank on to like win a section. He's inconsistent, and so I'm basically not discouraged about Brian's chances because he's old, because he's Brian, you know. That's his problem. Probably the old part doesn't really change too much. He was always a child, and he still is. He might manage an even score. 3 strokes. Man, that's amazing that he's playing after 3 strokes. He was playing after 3 strokes. Okay, here we go again. Knight b5. So he sacked a pawn. Very dynamic idea. I can certainly sack my queen. Or an exchange or whatever. Yes. I don't know what my plan was when I played this move. Where am I putting my queen now? Here? Oh, that's kind of artificial. And then bishop f4. Oh, man. About to lose on time. Damn it. Guess I put my queen on the wrong square. Oh man, we've got lag now. That's probably lost on time. I don't get it. Bishop h6. Well, that's unexpected. I know Grishuk, I heard he was better. I didn't see what happened. That's what I feared for Naka. And I've told you guys 100 times. If I haven't said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Nakamura shouldn't be playing like d4, d5 with black. Grishuk was just preying on him. I mean, you know, he was getting a draw with black and then trying to win with white, where Hikaru was playing a kind of passive defense. You know, and Grishuk is dangerous because he's universal. He plays e4 and d4. I'm back, I hope. I totally didn't see the game, but I'm not surprised. Because it seems like something that was likely to happen. Ah. So, white is victorious. I lost on time. Where's my ping? I've got 100 ping. Why does it say I have 100 ping and I have no connection? and incredible lag. How can I have 100 ping? No, I just lagged out. My wonderful Comcast internet. But he played a bad move here. Bishop takes c6. So bishop g7, rook g8, bishop f6, a takes b5. This would have been what I did. I wasted time with queen b6. Wow. Let's see how like the sort of drop frames are doing. No drop frames on the stream. Why is my connection to lichess so crap? Weird. Just lost on time. I was basically nothing, no time seal or something to protect my lag. All right, well, sorry about that. We'll try another game here. Eric Schmitz. He's only got 66 games. 70. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here since it's a Friday, but I normally only take challenges from people who have established accounts with 100 games. Apologies in advance if I flag because of lag. Like, why is my clock... Okay, my clock... It's casual, so it's not running. Sorry about that, 10-year-old. But you get credit for a win. Funny how the lag didn't really seem to be there until I was down to 17 seconds. And then it suddenly appeared, like very conveniently, when I got myself into time pressure. The whole opening of the game, there was no lag. But that you can basically blame it on Comcast. Thank you very much. Great internet they provide. Very, very good service and quality. So basically, my connection in Budapest is twice or 3 times as good and consistent as my American internet. Make American internet great again. Now Jim's gonna get mad. Bishop c4. Wait, this isn't the Yugoslav attack. Sorry, just can't talk. Man, Ludwig is in the United States, just like me. Well, the best thing about the United States is the crappy internet, you know. Then I have excuses for losing my games. Infrastructure. Not really the greatest country on earth. It's all just fake news. Queen d2. So what's up with this? Knight takes e4, right? I hope this works. You visited national parks. Like which ones? Smoky Finoki. Elon Musk's world internet started today. Well, it certainly didn't start here, man, because it's looking bad, man. I need me some Elon Musk. We just flagged our first game. I've been to the Grand Canyon once. That's cool. That's cool. Probably a good time to go, I guess, like May. April, May. We just snuck ourselves a piece. A pawn, excuse me. Pieces are pawns too. Pieces pawns. Pieces pawns. I feel like something wasn't right about this. Like either he or I made a serious mistake. Obviously something's wrong. But I have a tendency to mess these up. I don't really look at these traps every day. Did he have something better there? Snow. Pawns and officers. Welcome someone on sound. World Traveler. How's the new project? I wonder about E6. Flagged in the first game. Looks like I was slightly worse in that one when I lost on time. Aggressive. I call this the Sarawan system. Yasser always does like H6 instead of H5. It's a little bit safer than the traditional H5. You can really lock it up. Clash Kid's always seeming like he seems like he's subscribing twice a week or something. Clash Kid subscribed to Tier 1. 23 months. Almost 2 years. Gotta have a celebration. When somebody hits the 2... Somebody must have hit the 2 years, Clash Kid. Are you the record holder? I know Move 11 and Nefedov are up there. I haven't seen Nefedov since he got angry one of the previous streams. What was going on with that? This looks a little weird. Like he's threatening to play I don't know. Bishop e5, e6. Bishop takes c6. B takes c6. We'll go with it. You almost won a ticket for the PokerStars Scoop main event today. You almost won a ticket to the Scoop main event. Wait, like the main event is the 10 grand or 5 grand? How much is it? How much is the main event buy-in? 5? I haven't. I mean, I'm not even allowed to log into PokerStars from Massachusetts. So I don't know anything about what's going on there, but this is not one of the states where you can play on PokerStars. Anyway, it would be a different PokerStars, right? I don't know, but it's a 10K buy-in. You won 2 qualifiers and the third you didn't make it. That's heartbreaking. That's like the time that I like won a... I didn't really do a lot of step sit and goes, but like once I got up to like step 6 and I just cashed it in. I didn't even try to like reach step 7 or whatever the last one was. That's nice though. Nice to come close at least. I mean, I'm sorry you didn't make it, but still it's a good result, I guess, from the competitive standpoint. Those are not easy. Though I think, speaking of poker, I mean, I haven't played satellites on PokerStars for a long time, but they were getting like faster and faster paced, which I don't really like. More and more like kind of super turbo style stuff. I thought it was going the wrong direction. But Eric Schmidt's hanging tough here. King f6. Fuchsia, welcome. It's a nice king move till I get mated. Everything is... Basically everything is... on the dark squares. I feel like I'm winning, but I'm only up a pawn, yet it's even hard to feel like I'm up a pawn here. We've got the bind. If a4, b5, I guess. Good play on the b file. Strong knight. The king is waiting. Maybe I should play g4. Strange as that might seem. Maybe not. Good defender, this guy. Hanging tough. I guess if a4, rook b8 now. I'm not sure I'm really threatening anything. I mean, a4, a3 maybe. I don't really like my pawn getting fixed on a dark square. It looks like our internet is okay now, whereas the first game we flagged because of lag. We're not getting lag now. And also, we don't have any drop frames. You won a game in which you made 6 blunders and my opponent only 3. That's a lot of blunders. It's serious. A serious number of blunders. Now the f5 pawn. Delicious. What do you think, guys? Good? Take it? Not hungry. I'm not hungry, guys. I could play g4. That would complicate his life a bit. Defense. Amazing defense, actually. f6, king takes, rook f1 check. The migration. I mate myself. Self-mate. Ergonomic king. Alright, it's falling apart. He put up good resistance. 1 out of 2 with the accelerated dragon here. Okay, guys. AP87. I'm black every game. 3 in a row. Yeah, it might taste weird. That nugget was poison. Poison nugget. AP87. Are you with us? Or against us? Alright, enough of this fianchetto stuff. Let's play E45. Mix it up a little bit. Welcome everybody to my stream. Happy weekend. What does he play? Bishop C4? Alright. 2 knights defense. Now the quiet Joko. A lot of people will play like H6. I was talking about that with Sensei. With my Sensei earlier. I think it's kind of overrated though, honestly. The H6, G6, all that stuff, it's sort of artificial. I think it's better to just play Bishop C5 probably. Now Knight C3. What is this, like the canal variation? I guess he can go Knight A4 now and round up my bishop. It's a roundup! I don't care. Closed position. So this is canal variation, right? Bishop F6, Queen F6, Knight D5, Queen D8, Capablanca C3, etc. etc. Alright. Bishop E3. You wonder why Fischer often played Bishop C4, Bishop E7. Interesting. Well, yeah, I guess. He didn't like it. He didn't like losing a pawn. I don't know. But the Hungarian defense it is too passive, I think, like without a doubt. Okay, I'm out of book here. I suppose bishop e3 is some sort of move. I don't see anything really drastically wrong with it. Bishop g5 is usually bishop f6, queen f6, knight d5, queen d8, c3, and you can look it up in 500 Master Games of Chess. It's right here. I refer to this book a lot, but it's kind of a Savely Tartakover. That's an old variation, but I think it's okay for black. A4, interesting. You're going to force me to do something. Okay, you're not threatening anything. I believe I'll castle. I don't think White's going to be queenside castling after A4. If he's half the man I think he is. He's trying to do it. He's going to castle with A4 played. He has other plans. Very subtle. Now he has a little pull, I think, because of FE. I would probably take with the bishop there, if I were you. Move 11. Do you think Steinitz would have fared against the mid-20th century world champions like 50 to 70? Well, he certainly would have put up a good match. I don't think it would have been a cakewalk, you know, like Tal Steinitz or Botvinnik versus Steinitz. Like, there wouldn't have been easy matches. But again, it's sort of one of those things you can't really measure, you know. People are always asking about Fischer, Carlsen, or Kasparov. Fischer, right? That's the most classic question. Of course, Karpov Fischer, maybe the most classic hypothetical match, right? Man, this guy is playing remarkably fast. You play a lot of bullet chess? I can't even have time to think about my moves. I'm opening up his bishop. This is actually very possibly a mistake. But it's a mistake, probably. I don't understand where he's putting his king. You think I'm better than Steinitz? I'm just kidding. We gotta blast him open. We gotta punish this guy. How dare you leave your king in the center recklessly? He consistently neglects the safety of his king. There's basically really no thought about defense, period. He's just always trying to do speculative attacks. Asterbate played more like that before, but he's kind of matured out of it. Was a stage he was going through. It was a growing period. No brain, no pain. Very dangerous to castle queenside here. Needless to say. Form of a waterfall. You you watch too much Super Friends. 70s cartoons. Queen b3. I think this is a particularly bad moment to play g4. I mean, now that my knight can go into f4. He could have played h5 first, driven my knight back to e7, and then played g4 without having to worry about that, although I would be threatening that. That seemed like a better way to do it. G5 is coming. So I could play f6. Stopping that for good. For evil. Stopping. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Maybe he like pre-moved g5. It was a slow motion pre-move. The only thing that at f6 does is stop g5. But he did it anyway. f6 had a lot of problems, you know, like weakening f5, weakening g6. Knight h4 was the best chance, but the one thing it did do was stop g5. Now white is done. Done, 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 done. Done. I mean, this is not going to be pretty. Earlier suggested queen b3. Come back to us. They do not deserve you. What's that? Such a waste to play against an IM, not take a second to think about your moves. Yeah. I agree. I don't know why he plays so fast. But it's not about an IM or anyone else. I mean, people like AP87, Astrobate 2 sometimes, basically they just have a speed, and they just play the same speed against everybody. So it's just a matter of not being able to slow down. It's almost like an addiction. You just can't slow down. Yeah, he's going to sack his knight on g5, but it's a little too late. Obviously. Too little, too late. Cracky crab. Now everything is ready. We've readied everything. But I mean, g5 was just crazy. You know, if he plays knight h4, knight f5, maybe he has some, after f6, I mean, maybe he has some chances. It's good that my internet is behaving normally now. It was a little bit sketchy there to start with. Clash Kid, I'm glad you could make it. Do we have a challenge from Clash Kid? He is there. So we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not taking subscribers, guys. It's open challenges today. I mean, I think that it's realistic I could get down to the Clash Kid challenge. 10 minutes per game. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You know. But don't anybody else challenge. I mean, we got 9 challenges. That would be maximum. Unless you're planning on leaving. Percy Hepworth. Percy Hepworth. You weren't here, right? Oh, you did donate. You were here the other day. Okay, he's just going to flag. Someone on sound is in the... So Wonder is challenging me to correspondence chess. Okay. Someone on sound. Oh, he's up 2 slots from now. No sub challenge tonight? No. This afternoon. No. Once a week I try to make it more accessible to everybody. So that's what we're doing here. I'll Quantor. But that's why it's 5 plus 3. More games. You just resumed but no sound. Nobody else mentioned the sound problem. I certainly hope not. Certainly hope we had no problems with sound. Anyone? You resubbed, but no sound. Sound fine. All right, let's go. So e4. Try to play different stuff. Midday coffee. The French. I was inspired by some games I saw this week, doing some videos and lessons where the French winnower came up. He plays knight f6. I'm all geared up for the French winnower. And I get the classical instead. The classical is a little more stable for black. It is a quality opening. I think I looked at this with move 11. Move 11, are you in the house? Well, in tournament games, I've always played knight c3. I don't play e4 that often, and if you break down my games historically, I've played like d4 and c4 a lot more than and knight f3 a lot more than e4. So I don't have that many. I actually don't have that many e4 games. But at any time I did face the French, I've always played knight c3. But I looked at, and I was playing knight d2, the Tarash a lot on my stream for a while. The lines were white plays queen g4. Yeah, I just started doing a video series for the site that I do work for, chesslecture.com, and on that site I did recently I did Spassky versus Korchnoi. They have a fantastic the candidates final from 1977-78. That's a really good match for seeing French games. Then there are also a lot of classic games I like between like Smyslov and Botvinnik. Yeah, it's easier someone on sound if you just don't sacrifice a pawn to begin with. But the Mora, I think the Mora can just about equalize for white. Basically like handicapping yourself. f6. Wow. Camel culture. What is that? The Y Mora. Good. Relevant. We're talking about exactly that. Very timely. Because you want to handicap yourself by losing a pawn in the opening. Larson said it just loses a pawn. What did he know? So f6. All right, well, I look at f5. I don't see anything there. What is the plan? Taking on c5? I could take on f6. I have a knight on f2 to protect the e4 square. Man, this is such a difficult position with all this tension. I don't know. All right, we'll just guard the pawn chain, whatever. Spassky and Korchnoi played a match in 2009. Forget about it. I mean, Korchnoi could still kind of play at that point, but I think his health was probably... You'd have to ask Bloby. Bloby probably knew more about it, but... I mean, I think that Korchnoi started to get pretty ill, you know, by that point. Spassky already... Maybe not so much illness, but just lack of caring. Supremes. I hope a first game with you. Well, we'll see. Basically, how much time we have and how many challenges we have. I like to get to play some new players. That's why I do the faster time controls. I mean, it just doesn't seem like Spassky was serious about chess even before he played the second match against Fischer. You know? It just doesn't seem like he was competitive anymore. And it even, you know, he even tried to be competitive. Korchnoi was ultra competitive though, which made him, that's what made him so good as an old player, as an older senior. He just was just as competitive as he was. Spassky lost his, you know, competitiveness. He probably never had quite as much competitiveness as Korchnoi to begin with, obviously. What a patently annoying move that is. Patently annoying and patently annoying. Knight takes. Gotta do something. Hartweiss and Nudal goes to the bit lead with 1999. 500 bits. Trade the knight off. Queen e7. Wow. Where does he come up with this stuff? Where does he come up with this stuff? Weird player. I don't know how you can play this kind of position in a blitz game with black. To be perfectly honest with you. I just don't know how you can even do that. Wow. I don't know what to do. I'm just trying not to lose on time. Yeah, Black Starscream Bishop is kind of brilliant. I mean, the entire concept was brilliant. He's like a genius. Only 1800. Okay, he's 2000 in rapid. So his rating is a little deceptive, kind of like someone on sound and other people. And Blow B2. I mean, I got a lot of you guys who are like 1800, but you play a lot better than that. The average 1800 in like the hourly blitz tournament or something is literally 200 points weaker than this guy. I don't have to really even pay attention to beat the average 1800 blitz player on lichess, just kind of like winning games in my sleep. But some of you guys are really, really tough. It's quick too. Quick thinking. Like, I never have time to think in this game. So Nakamura lost to Grishuk. I like Hikaru, but I'm not surprised. Grishuk is my favorite in that tournament. I think he's the best player of them, of the remaining players in Moscow. The depth of his understanding I think is higher than others. I got to do something to get this guy out of his comfort zone, because he just keeps pouring in fast move after fast move. Seems extremely strong for 1800. I did beat him 3 times. I don't recall now. He's playing fast and strong. But I mean, Marozevich has been, he's been like washed up for a while. And I'm not saying that like in sincerity, but basically he fell off the chess map, you know. I like Marozevich, but he's just not been on the map, you know, for a long time. Chess map. Knight g5. What? Oh. Primitive. He got married. Imagine that affected his game. That's what happened to Shirov. Multiple occasions. Happened to me. First time I got married, I got better. That was a bad marriage, though, you know. The really bad ones probably help your game. You just don't want to see your wife, and it works out better that way. But everyone knows how talented Morozevich is. You know, there's no question. All right, guys, we have a ridiculous amount of challengers. I appreciate all of you. I'm never going to get to play all these games, so we'll do the best we can. All right, someone on sound. I love Morozevich. I love his creativity, you know. But he just hasn't been even close to the top 10 in years and years. Topalov, yeah. Topalov's been hanging around. Kind of hanging around. The second echelon. He has a little more staying power than Morozevich. Someone on sound is brutal. You got to be careful with him. He was number 3 a couple of years ago. Was he? Really? That's hard to believe, but it's not impossible. Topalov was number 3 a couple of years ago. I guess it's possible he got back to like 2800. But that was kind of it almost seemed like a sort of anomaly, you know? It looked like a kind of statistical anomaly. Of course he was brilliant in his prime. He's playing more Go? Oh. They said that like Grishuk was playing a lot of poker at one point. I mean, I can play a lot of poker, you know, but honestly, if I was like in the top 5 in the world, I don't think I would spend my time playing poker. Like, if you're that good that you're in the top 5 in the world, let's just concentrate on chess. You know, it's different if you're like in the top 100 or, you know, top 500. You can do something else. But Ivanchuk very into checkers. So Topalov was 28-16 in 2016. That's weird. He got a lot of invites to really exclusive tournaments, it's true. And he's never been consistent. Well, T-Dark, I tend to disagree with you there. I mean, a lot of poker players and chess players play both. It's pretty big there's a pretty big community of players who disagree, but it's, you know, I mean, okay, it's a different kind of game essentially, you know, a board game versus a card game. But I think there are a lot of similarities in the thinking skills that you need. Okay, knight e4. So here I am playing the bishop g5 Grunfeld. I don't know why I'm doing this. We'll try to play it positionally against someone unsound, because he's very, very strong in tactics. I don't remember now. Is he strong in tactics, or is it gambit play? Wow. Oh, wow. We got to ask the house sitter what's going on here. Is that the move? I thought that e6 was the move. And even c6. Castles? Can you do that? I think that important skills like thinking on multiple levels, there's a lot of thinking skills that carry over between many different kind of games. All right. So what's the deal with this? Castles. Yes, I'm just winning a pawn. Just go home. We transpose. It's not going to work, though. Now e6, pawn takes pawn, and I'm up a pawn. So he has to play this gambit line. It's tricky with someone unsound. Like, he knows more theory than you think. You think he doesn't know the theory, then it comes out that he knows a lot of theory. Well, heads up poker is about like a psychological battle with an individual, so that's something that probably has a lot more direct connectivity with chess. It's a one-on-one game as well, so yeah, I can see how you could say that. But in luck is just a cycle, you know. I mean, in the long run, there's no such thing as luck. It just doesn't exist, you know. We're playing for the long term. You could say there's luck in chess, who you get paired with, if your opponent was late to the game, if your clock is broken. There's still like some luck factors. Does your opponent, you know, how often do your opponents blunder? I mean, some people get lucky. They win a tournament because 3 of their opponents made like outrageous blunders back to back to back. I mean, that's absolutely luck. You know, if you say there's no luck in chess, people win major tournaments because 3 of their opponents blundered like game after game. Like Grandelius did really well in, say, the European individual championship, and he like tied for first. But if you look at his games, it was like one guy after another just like played horribly against him, you know. And that wasn't like his skill, like killing those people. He just got lucky. Like 3 people played really, really bad against him, you know, in a row. I think there is luck, you know, in any kind of competition. There's going to be luck. Yeah, it's like variance in chess. It's lucky if you cross the street and somebody doesn't hit you with a car. You know? It's the same thing. There's less, you know. Less. I was like making the crossing the street and not getting hit by a bus. Someone unsound. I don't know how much more aggressively you could play. Sacking a pawn with black. Just all of his moves flow so naturally and fast. But I mean, that's why I don't like the World Championship being decided by a candidates tournament, you know. The series of matches, like the candidates matches in the 80s and 90s, There was less variance in that kind of thing. So more often you got the best players. When you have one tournament deciding who's going to play for the World Championship, there is a lot more luck involved. And that's why I don't like the way it is now. Real Grambit, haven't seen you in a while. I hate when that happens. I hate when you walk across the street in a bus. Just happens to be coming the other way. But I have seen quite a bit of luck in tournament play. There's nothing you can do. You can play the best chess in the tournament and the other guy is just getting easier pairings because, you know, maybe both of your opponents are 2300, but you got the little kid who's like clearly underrated and he got the old man who's getting worse, you know, and now you're statistically playing two people who have the same rating, but the other guy is, you know, far more lucky because you have to play the little kid who's like 100 rating points underrated, you know. So there's different ways we can look at it and find quote unquote luck in chess as well, in competitive chess anyway. There's no luck in the game itself. I mean, you know, you have perfect information theoretically and all that jazz. Check this guy out, man. He will just not leave me alone. Scary to play against someone on sound. Scary. He's like fearless. Completely fearless. Most people who are under 2000 are a little fearful because my rating is for 24. But once in a while you get an opponent who just, they don't seem to have any fear. That's the way he's playing this game. Just coming at me, sacking a pawn, just intuitively bringing all the pieces toward the center. There's Loke in chess. Loke is not allowed to come to the United States. The last time I saw Loke, we were joking because he got like banned from the United States for 5 years because when he went through passport control, like the last time he came to the US, he was like too honest with the TSA guy, and they were like, "Are you coming here to work?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go to a chess camp," and it was supposed to like, you know, be like kind of free or something, but he made them think that he was like working in the United States. So they basically like said he wasn't allowed to come back to the United States for like 5 years or something. It's so ridiculous. He was too honest. All right, knight g5. What's going on here? I want your pawn. Wow, I guess I'll be playing like bishop takes c3, queen c3. Delicious. Someone on sound completely playing like on intuition. Do not sacrifice. It hurts my feelings and makes me scared. It's too much stress when people sacrifice stuff and play for the initiative. Just play passive and make it easy for me. Percy Epworth says, I think jazz is closer to chess. That's one of those things that always happens to me. You go to a party and people ask, oh, what do you do? I'm a chess player. Oh, you're a jazz player. That's great. Then you have to like embarrass them. They're all excited that you're like a jazz musician. You have to like shamefully like, no, I'm not a jazz player. Alright, I'll hide over here. Why can't I play f3? I guess I can. I'm being a chicken, basically. Chicken. More initiative. It's just constant initiative for black. Look at this. Bishops. Now that doesn't seem right. I thought he was going to play bishop h6. The first time he like didn't play a kind of aggressive, scary move, he traded off his bishop. He's completely panicking now. queen takes. There he goes again. Misbehaving. You're going to wish you didn't trade that off. He lost it. You won a jazz tournament? True. Tipsy account. Well, that's why I like to have a beer or two before my chess games. It doesn't work for everyone. So Balmer Peak, is that gin, Fuchsia? Some kind of like high-end gin. All right, knight f6 check. The Martini effect, absolutely. Amuna. Man, great job by someone on sound till he finally kind of started to crack on the clock, but he had pressure all the way. I don't like bishop g5 against the Grunfeld. My house sitter got croaked by Sergei Kudrin, too. That was ugly. It was really ugly. Kudrin. Don't play the bishop g5 Grunfeld against Kudrin. Sub down. It's always sad to see a sub down. Sub down. I'm not going to get involved in any kind of classical King's Indian here today. Balmer Peak is what? Oh, it's when you had just enough alcohol to reach your... It sounded like a brand of gin or something. It's like a scientific alcohol level. Are you kidding me? Oh, Samish would be good. I like the Samish too. Alright, I'll play that next time, T-Dark. I can't play the classical, proper classical. It's just too heavy, too difficult. Move 11 to Kudrin crushed the Kid FM with black and the bishop f4 Grunfeld at a recent Marshall. Yeah, Sergei really is a good Grunfeld player. And he also, well, he's always been really, really good at openings. I think that's his specialty. You know, he's a 25-50 level GM. He like, but I think his strength is openings. Honestly, his greatest strength. And he's also pretty good all around. But if I had to say which phase of the game Kudrin was best at, it would be openings. You know, middle games and end games are good, but his openings are always well prepared. The dragon, the Grunfeld with white against everything with e4. He's very, very good. Very systematic. Okay, now you don't write code with alcohol. Use e5 takes, pawn takes, queen d8. This looks like one of these positions that should be good for us. Some sort of tactical bonus. The tactical bonus. So we win a pawn. Ponda. We have two ways to win a pawn. Bishop f6 followed by knight d5. Or knight d5 right away. Knight d5 right away. Knight d5 right away. And then I'm just eating the pawn on c7. With tempo. Yeah, I mean, usually black gets a little bit of counterplay in this type of position. You think Donner liked his jazz? Yeah, it seems like Dutch grandmasters would be into jazz for some reason. They're pretty cool. Now that Nils isn't here, I can say good things about the Dutch. Okay, knight d5. You got to play what? You played against Donner? T-Dark, yeah, you're in Netherlands too. Camel culture. I wouldn't want to give Nils a big head, but he said he quit chess. He made a big donation and said he quit. Donner was before my time. No, he never, like, obviously came to the United States, as far as I know, to play in a tournament or something. Whoa. Whoa. So knight f6 check king h8 is some kind of weird trick? What am I talking about? So what's up here? We have two choices. Take the rook or not take the rook. If you take on f3, I take on d8, you take on e2. If I take on f3, so we'll just take on f3 and just be up a pawn. Up a ponda. We're up a ponda with an attack on the rook, no compensation, dark square weaknesses. Real Gambit says what? National drafts champion when he was a kid. Hard to believe that kids would be national drafts champions. It seems like a game that only old people play. That's weird in and of itself. Isn't it? Yeah, Donner was a famous player, and the house sitter has probably every book that was ever written about him. There was a really good book about Donner. Collection of like all of his games and stuff. Ask an American about Donner and they think you're talking about like Santa's reindeer or something. I mean, he wasn't a household name, you know, like many chess grandmasters, especially in the West. Donner versus Reinderman on Blitzen. Exactly. And Reinderman is Dutch too, so it's perfect. I've played Reinderman on Blitzen, but never with Donner. All right. He survived to the endgame, but these are very good bishops. Hey, step off there. Good job reaching a almost holdable endgame here. Bishop takes c4 forbidden after bishop c3. Was forbidden. Wasn't forbidden. It was probably the best move. It looks like it was an oversight, but I would have gotten rook on the 7th. Probably not enough, though. It was an oversight. Thank you for pointing that out, embarrassing me. Grambit, take care. When did Hartweiss and Nudal donate? He was here. He was here this stream. He snuck in and stole your status. It was just sneaky. He might be here now, actually. Not really sure. Stop hanging pawns. I did it again? I didn't do it again, right? I've been very careful since that one misstep. No, but I just didn't see it. Now. He's preparing b5. Mate. I have to admit, he's hanging pretty tough. For mere 1600. He must be an older, experienced player, because younger players are just terrible at endgames. Under the age of 15, he would just melt down in this endgame. He must be a grizzled veteran or something. Usually people play, like modern players who are learning online, they play worse and worse as you get in deeper into the end game. This player seems to be playing better since he got to the end game. 59 players without Bob. Once this Bob gets here, we start dropping. Now everyone sees Bob, they're like, not Bob again. Bishop takes g6. Free my pawn. Creationism. Do you guys believe in creationism? Creationism of a past pawn. Past ponda. This is creationism right here. We creations. Croatianism. Stupid jokes. I'm going to hang the same pawn again. That's just ridiculous. That would be embarrassing. Hanging the same pawn a second time after he told me. 62 fake viewers. 59. Immediately it dropped down to 59. As soon as Bob came in. Finishing your last beer, Bob. Thank you, sir. You guys are all welcome to donate. Alcohol. And just cash. William. 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 That was George Alexopoulos. Brian Wall probably knows him. Ask Brian Wall, Camel Culture, about George Alexopoulos. William. It's so good to see you. He was this really big guy, really heavy, and he was Greek. He had a pretty strong accent. Basically, he was extremely slow, and so not only playing slow, he lost on time all of his games, and he like physically moved slowly, and he talked slowly. It was very consistent, you know. And if he spotted you at a tournament, he would like surround you and force you to talk to him for like half an hour really, really slow. So Camel Culture just reminded it to me. Maybe accidentally. William, how was your game? I lost by time again. Really, George? Wow, you lost by time again. I can't believe it. Yes, I lose by time again. You're just like, this is ridiculous. Okay, Camel Culture is up to $22.99. Clash Kid. So we got a couple tough games. And then rated challenge, that's gone. Another rated challenge. Guys, we're only streaming until 2:30, so no, 3. So we've got an hour and 10 minutes left. Hour and 10 minutes is 70 minutes. That's about 7 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We should be able to get down around to Vichy the player, but we'll do the best we can. Very old world map from 1,000 years ago. Chinese people are called camel clutchers. What, are you serious? I would think it has a completely... It's a tan colored bag. Oh, you mean like camel... Well, you mean like camel skin? Because camel skin, you know, was very popular. It's probably totally like illegal or bad form now. There was a long time when camel, you know, upholstered bags and stuff and clothes were very popular. Okay, it's a camel, it's a color too, but I'm sure you've seen like old ladies with like camel skin handbags and stuff like that back in the day. Yeah, it's actually... Am I making this up? I might be making this up. I'm not trolling you on purpose, I swear. I'll try not to start hysterically laughing. We tried a different variation. Let's try bishop g5 against Clutcher. I think it's more like I think it's more like kind of like the Trumpist way of grabbing people, but I'm not I'm not sure. Bishop g5. We'll talk about it on the bus. Bishop g5. Let's go. I'm going to get... Yeah, he's strong. He's a strong player. I got to play bishop g5 because last time I played the main line, like cd, knight takes d5, queen b3, and I lost. We'll try to confuse him with bishop g5, the other variation. Wow, he immediately screwed up. No way. He's probably laughing at my joke. He's laughing at my joke now, and he couldn't contain himself. Hopefully, that's what did it. Try to keep Bob in line today. It's not my name. I'm just pointing out obvious, you know. Anyway. You're not, some of that sound is not going to get engaged. Don't worry, you already are. It's a good thing you're not like a phys ed teacher or something, Bob. I wouldn't want you to be, you know, explaining sex ed to future citizens of our fine country. Black's position is already terrible. I mean, maybe not that bad. Just not that great. But we're going to get onto a new subject now because Bob is leading us down the path of evil and we try to be good. Dude, ask your president, okay? Because I don't understand it either. Send a letter to the White House and have him explain it to you. I don't know, but I get letters in the mail. You know, I have a bonfire every month or so. A6, bishop c4, b5, bishop b3. We're gonna go with that. He's gonna surround my fine d5 pawn though. Torch carrying Republican. They're definitely getting their money's worth when they send their important correspondence here. Like, you should see the stuff that they send. It's like totally deceptive letters, like tricking old people into thinking like it's an official census. I mean, it's practically illegal, you know, what they do. Anyway, all right, the evil ones. All right, we've got to defend our pawn. How are we going to do this? Anyway, don't get me started with the politics stuff. Don't get me started. There's no time for that here. We've got to be concentrating on chess. Did they always do that? Well, always to some extent, but it's gotten worse and worse and worse. It's like... It's like... really insane. It's just crazy. I think like the Republican National Convention, they probably always over the period of like the last 10 plus years, they got more and more into sending out kind of dubious looking correspondence, but it's gotten like even more out of control now. I don't know. Bob, ask Crazy Nancy. Share your political views. I try to share them indirectly. So what am I doing here? Blunder? Blunderific? It's blunderific. Distracted by Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. It's trap. Am I connected to the internet here? I'm a little worried. Camel Culture spent a lot of time on that move, which was very strange. Honestly, I thought he had me with b4. What am I missing with b4? What was I missing, guys? Why didn't he have b4 last move? Just hallucination? Maybe he has a better idea. Oh God, Oprah. We don't need any more television personalities to be president of the United States. Can we just have a normal corrupt politician again? Like a normal run-of-the-mill corrupt politician again? All right. What are we going to do? Knight e4. I think I'm going to centralize. He's feeling the pressure. He likes it f7. Rook fd8. Come on. You want to play rook fd8. He didn't want to play it. Bishops are stronger than knights. Everybody knows that. Okay. Hanging tough. He is hanging tough. Bernie. Bernie would be the first U.S. Jewish president, right? Feel the burn. I don't care who it is, as long as it's not Donald Trump. I would even accept like a different Republican, but please, like, just not Donald Trump. All right. He's retreating back to G7. Knight C6. He's actually focusing on this, it seems like. Man, what do I do? Knight C6. He just wins my d-pawn. Take, take. But maybe that's not enough, you know, for him to really feel comfortable. I can do this. He's probably got more. I blundered. Man, dude, what if you play e6 there? Oh, I'm just going to take your rook. My bad. All right. So you had to do something. Now I've got to go for it. D5. D5, bishop takes C3. I can't believe it. There's got to be something here. Peeing away my position. Politically correct. Pawn takes pawn. Pawn takes pawn, bishop takes e1, e7. It's kind of a funny variation. Probably my best, ironically. Pawn takes pawn, bishop takes e1, e7. Oh my god. It's just for entertainment value. I've got to do this. It's a little bit too much, though. Camel Culture's, he's tough. Some entertainment. I got +1 pawn. Do I still have +1 pawn? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have plus. How many do I have? 3, 6, 7. I'm up 2. We're going to be giving 1 back, maybe 2. That's the problem. That's a weird move. Like, really? Bishop b4? Wow, dude. Like, Dr. Cheapo. Oh my god, that works? Are you kidding me? It's so wrong, dude. Yeah, I mean, actually, why even go to b4? Like, why not just go to a5? I'm an idiot. I'm just crazy. Sorry. I just lost my mind. He could have played anything. Yeah, that's stupid. No, good game, but it's stupid of me. Like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I just so badly wanted there to be something there that I tried to invent something. But I just don't have anything. I just couldn't accept it, and I wanted to make something, play it out. I'm down a piece. I mean, what's there to play out? You could just capture. What? Oh yeah, of course. No, this was my original plan. You know, of course I should just capture, but I know that I'm worse here. Because I'm losing this, and this is gone. I'm going to be the one down a pawn now, not him. Obviously, I would have captured if I realized, like, I'm losing a piece, but I hallucinated that, you know, I'm getting my piece back or something. I basically sacrificed 2 pieces to win 1 back, which is good. You know, really, it's really good math on my part, but I basically saw that I didn't have anything, so I saw this mirage. It happens a lot. If you make a mistake, what happens is you start to become desperate, and you start looking like frantically for some kind of miracle, and you start having hallucinations. It happens to me in a tournament last year. You have a bad position, you start seeing mirages in the desert, basically, and that's what this was, an example of thinking, oh yeah, there's a miraculous way, like e7, yes. And so, but I mean, I think it's funny, like at the end, he played bishop b4. He should play bishop a5, it's like a clean piece up. But I mean, either way, it's just winning. It doesn't matter. This is good too. So, that was what Whiteskin said after losing to me. It was a mirage. Well, you know, great minds think alike, right? All right, Clash Kid is up next. Good game, Camel Culture, another win. Okay. Strong opponent here, Clash Kid. Guys, thanks for donating, supporting the stream. Now I'm angry. We've only got half an hour. No, we've got an hour left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games or so. Now I'm mad. Camel's better than me. And he has a better name, too. It's a Bill Wall product. Bill Wall is from the wrong country. Where is Bill Wall lives in, like, Russia or something. He's not a Bill Wall product. He's a Tim Wall product. There was a guy from New Jersey named Wall, too. There's also one from the UK named Gavin Wall. There's like 5 Walls. We just meant Brain Wall. A Brain Wall product. That's a frightening thought. Like any sort of child of Brian. You love me. Brian's Brain Wall. Son of Brian. The same variation against Clash Kid. All right, we'll play the proper move now. I can't believe, though, the embarrassing thing is that Camel Culture totally butchered the opening. Like, after bishop g5, he didn't know what to do, and I still messed it up. That's sad. Sad, sad, sad. And I taught him a free lesson. Now he knows to look up bishop g5 and figure out what he's supposed to do there. So anyway, probably one of the best ways to play the black side of the Caro-Kann Panov. Maybe Fuchsia, if she's still here, could do a study on this variation. Would be recommended. So now there's two possibilities for black. Camel Culture played knight takes c3 against me. That's the original move. But Caruana plays also, and some good players have played e6, including myself. e6 is looking funky, but it's quite a good move too. Yeah, the knight c6, g6 variation, my personal favorite, which I play for both sides, actually. Someone suggested knight c7. That I've never seen before, and usually you get overrun by d5. The one thing you can't let happen is d5. No, it's too slow. It's not like some other variations. The knight being on c6 is a very dangerous thing for black, kind of like the c3 Sicilian as well. You can't mess around. You can't let white play d5. Camel Culture messed that up. He should be clearly worse when white is allowed to play d5. I'm not sure what I did wrong. I was a little bit careless. What just happened? Oh, this is the proper line. Okay. Proper grobbing. Give him a proper grobbing. The boy, he deserves a proper grobbing for that. It sounds like some sort of punishment, a grobbing. We're joking about the grob earlier this week and how it'd be funny with an English accent. 19 Centipon loss from Camel Culture. Pretty good game. But that opening was a butchery. Like all of his Centipon loss was basically when he played and allowed me to go like, c takes d5, I think. However, it's not that bad, ironically. So I like f6 here. That's my preference. Not a move that's easy to explain. Good and proper grobbing. Bishop g7. That's the old move. Now we can just kind of tease him. Queen a3. Would you like to castle? I'm giving him a second chance. I'm giving him a sensible way out, Clash Kid. I think theory might be Queen c3, Queen e3, and Bishop e3. I want to get fancy. I'm getting too fancy here. I'm really getting too fancy. I beat some English GM in a rapid tournament with this line with white. It's easy to play against something that you know the weaknesses of your own system. Though sometimes it can be kind of frustrating. The accelerated dragon against someone on sound, surprisingly difficult. e6 and kingside fianchetto just don't go well together. Well, that's a very general, like, kind of old-fashioned way of thinking, Fuchsia. You're obviously still stuck in the 80s there. You're ranting about e6 in your Panov study quite a lot. Was it Daniel Fernandez I beat? Well, he's not English, right? He's from like Singapore, or isn't he from some other country? No, I beat this guy with a really boring name, like a very, very English name, but I can never remember because it's so ordinary that you can't remember it. It's like Richard Smith or something like. The guy literally has too boring a name to remember. He told me yesterday he's English. Well, maybe he moved to the UK, but he's from somewhere in Asia, I thought. Although maybe he has, like, you know, one parent from England, or maybe he's English and lives in another country. You know, maybe he's just a resident. But everywhere I saw that guy listed, he was listed like under some Asian country. But it's possible he was like born in England, and or he has multiple. Maybe he has like multiple passports. I don't know. Lawrence Trent is not a GM. F6. Good and proper grobbing. But I probably shouldn't trade the queens. Energy. That's how they say it in Massachusetts, Bob. Okay, guys, Sunday Simul. Mad Ramus will be back. English Grandmasters with an ordinary name. Man, F, that's the move. What is the guy's name? Something very standard sounding. So boring that it's hard to believe he's a Grandmaster. His name is just too standard. Stephen Gordon, that's it. That's it. That's the guy. Stephen Gordon. Joe Bob Sullivan. Yeah, it was Stephen Gordon. He played this line against me with black. I beat him in a rapid game. A really nice game, actually. One of those players who came to the forefront when I was basically playing poker all the time. But I did meet him in a rapid tournament. I wasn't playing much at the time. Okay, so now white is better, but it's still a tough grind. Well, Nunn and Miles aren't like every day. You know, there's the other guy now, Stephen Hawkins or whatever. Is it Stephen? Hawkins and Gordon are extremely like standard sort of names. Nunn and Miles are more rare. You know, Spielman, Nunn, I mean, Spielman isn't like a British name, and Nunn and Miles are more rare sort of names. But I couldn't remember Stephen Gordon because it's just too ordinary sounding. Not to diss him, but you know, just is. Mr. Clash Kid hanging tough. Rooks are known for their up and close personal. Their ability to play up close personal really well. He's ready to play Bishop E8 here, apparently. Let's carve out a little dark square control. Grishuk. Grishukian. Jonathan Hawkins. No, which Hawkins am I talking about? Which is the Hawkins who's strong? You guys from the UK. What's his first name? The new guy. Relatively new player. Is it Jonathan? Well, I figured, Naka fan, that Naka was going to get butchered today, and I told him 100 times on my stream that he needs to stop playing the Queen's Gambit Declined with black. Okay? That's enough of that. You know, that doesn't suit his style. And yeah, you're playing great players, you need to play solid. Whatever. He needs to play something more dynamic with black against d4, particularly. Because he's a sitting duck, you know. I don't think it suits his style. And I'm going to keep saying it till the cows come home. Basically. Chess from beyond. What did I just do? Damn it. Excuse my language. Knight takes. Knight takes. No. Come on, man. Lose on time. Gotta be able to get in there somehow. Look at that bishop. Wait, is that a bishop? No, that's a bishop. That's a real bishop. The bishop from beyond. But I've got to be careful, guys. Man, he's hanging tough. And I've gone and done it. Awkward. I thought the thing with knockout would be like a temporary thing. Like he does the Catalan for a while, or the Queen's Gambit decline for a while, just to kind of show he's universal, he can play however, and then maybe he'll go back to playing the King's Indian or the Dutch or something exciting. But no, he continues to try to play this. I'd much rather Rastro. I'd much rather see Hikaru play something dynamic, even if it's risky. Look at this. Ponda. Much rather. This is a funny game. I love this. How are your dark squares doing? He lost on time. Well, the other thing is, yeah, playing, streaming on Twitch and being a top 5 player in the world are probably not things that are really mutually inclusive. That's kind of like what I was saying about Grishuk playing poker, I mean, it's fine if you're a top 100 player and you're not going to be the best player in the world or close, and, you want to do other stuff. But, yeah, I mean, but anyway, whatever. You need to make a living. Hikaru probably could do better if he focused completely on playing. But then again, Grishuk could have probably done better if he wasn't playing poker. So, but I just don't think Hikaru is choosing the right opening repertoire, against d4. Yeah, I mean, probably he should have like a real strong player as a second, not a computer guy. That's another thing. But who am I to say? Just another random international master. I really like Grishuk, though. I mean, to be fair, I think he's the best player in the final of that Moscow tournament. I like Hikaru, but I like Grishuk better. I think Grishuk is just a tiny bit greater. All right. For me, anyway, Grishuk is more of the real deal, super player. Supreme XD. I've played against B4 here. I think I even played a game with White. I lost to Walter Whitman in a horrible, horrible disaster game. The only game I ever lost to the Austrian Walt Whitman. Like the last time we ever played. I played this Nanu Cyprian attack with... It's a kind of like speckled hen, a sort of Keith Arkell style opening. Can I play C5 now? I feel like White's setup is pretty slow. I don't know if I can get away with this or not. Think about the openings that would suit Nakamura better. Anything dynamic. The Dutch, the King's Indian, the Benoni, I know all these openings have limitations, but, if he mixes it up and comes up with new ideas... I talked about this a lot with move 11, but d4, d5, it's just not really dynamic. Unless you play the black side of the semi-Slav. And even then, like, White has to kind of cooperate for it to be dynamic. I just don't think d4, d5 is a good idea. Hikaru is just too strong tactically not to take advantage of that by playing the most complex type of positions he can, I think. He's not getting the biggest value for his style. Essentially. Yeah, I agree. I mean, okay, you can't play the King's Indian every game, but once in a while play something solid. But he's like playing it all the time, you know. He's got to go for it with sharper stuff. I think he's proven. Yeah, he can play solid openings. Okay, fine, whatever. Now let's just go back to what we really are good at, and he'll have good results. I think when he starts doing that. The other thing, though, that it's a lot of hard work to play something like the King's Indian. You know, it's a tricky opening. You cede white a lot of space. It's all fine and good for me to sit back and say, hey, Hikaru should play the King's Indian. But truthfully, it's easier to play something like the Queen's Gambit Declined. It's more stable. You know, you're not getting a massive space disadvantage like in the King's Indian. But I still think it's harder work, but it would be worth it for him to play something sharper on a regular basis. All right, we're going for structure here. Walt Whitman. No, you're good. You're talking about Breaking Bad now? Walt Whitman is a controversial, I guess, today, historical figure who was a writer. But the Walter Whitman I was referring to is an Austrian international master. Spelled differently. He was the guy from Breaking Bad, exactly. He's quite a strong player. Covering the d5. Yesterday I had a game, or was it yesterday or the day before I had a game against, maybe Tuesday? I had a game where I was white and, or no, I was black and white got in d5 on the Tuesday tournament, I suppose. And I was joking with my friend Joe that I basically let white play d5 and I lost the blockade. I heard a joke somewhere about blockading d5. I think I've said it once on the stream before, but we'll remind you that the joke is more or less about the blockade with d5. So Nimzovich said you're supposed to blockade d5. Alyekin went further. He said you're supposed to, you know, attack the isolated pawn. And Larson said you're just supposed to win the pawn, you know. And so I tried to win the pawn last time, and it just backfired, and I didn't win it, and it went to d5, and I got a bad game. Okay, so what's happening here? Donations. Larson. The Larson philosophy. Just win it. Don't bother with blockading, you know, or attack. Well, you got to attack it. That's kind of the in-between stage. So Joe said that it was just a stage thing. Like, they're all stages. But I don't believe, like, you really have to do the first stage. You know, that's the point. Like, we could do omit the first stage, the blockading stage. Of course, Nakafan is right. It depends on this position. It depends on the position. But sometimes you kind of sell out your position when you win the isolated pawn. Like, all of a sudden, he's like, oh, he feels free, you know. The worst thing you can do when you have an isolated pawn is play passively because you're, like, tied down to said isolated pawn. And I was just saying this the other day. It's better to lose the isolated pawn than to get tied down to it any day. So many people lose like that. Apparently, like, Move 11 is a Walt Whitman expert. The poet, that is. Pin it and win it. Bishop d5 followed by b5. b5 is kind of not going to work. So that's a slight problem. Pin it and win it philosophy, not quite cutting it here. Meanwhile, bishop takes a7 is a legal move. Having crazy thoughts. So evil tactically. I'm just such a strong tactician. I lost only to Camel Culture so far today. No, I lost the first game a time, but that doesn't count. My internet connection, thanks to Comcast. Thank you, Comcast. You're one of my favorite things in the world. Rook C1. Wow. So we've never played Supreme XD. I underestimated him because he misplayed the opening, but all of a sudden, like, he's seemingly pretty good. I think I better stop underestimating him now. Knight e3, queen e3, and then I'm left with a bishop hanging on e4, so that's kind of awkward. End up losing a pawn. Losing a ponda. You lost a ponda, but you gained a friend. I'm gonna lose on time. Apparently a bullet player. I don't do bullet chess. I think it's a waste of time. I believe oh, you found that. Nice move. I grabbed my king. Grabbed my king and put it on d8. Can we try to do that? No, not allowed. All right, tried. You can't fault me for not trying. Yeah, I have International Master Michael Valvo, another former. He's passed, but he was a former Coloradian. I remember his ICC figure notes was like, bullet chess is just masturbation. I mean, basically that's what I believe too. Chess masturbation. You should have probably the maximum time control that's useful is like 3 minutes, something like that. Queen b6. Stop harassing me. He like insta moves and stuff. Supreme XD. I guess we have to take. Luckily, I didn't have to worry about back rank mate there. Black is slightly better. I don't know if it's enough to win, but it's kind of been the same. Slightly better for black. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't know if I should have even won his central pawn on d4, because that's the kind of point I was making. Oftentimes, winning the isolated pawn kind of frees the guy, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, all right, I just, play actively with his pawn down, and everything's fine. If you get him to just kind of defend that isolated pawn passively, sometimes like they get tied down on other fronts. Would you say black is slightly better? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have 2 bishops. I have more pawns to protect my king. He hung his b2 pawn, so there's also mate on a plate. There's no mate. Oh, we have queen c1 check, but then he has got to play queen. All right, so he's gonna lose the pawn. I wonder if I could play for more with something like bishop e4. And just because that rhymes. I don't have time, though. I'm about to lose on time. Well, I mean, black is just better. Better king safety, 2 bishops. No back rank weakness. Pawn up. But opposite colored bishops and queens is likely a draw. I mean, this is very, very hard for me to convert. converter. Chess converter. Very likely difficult to win. But you can try. I mean, this is Magnus Carlsen territory here. He loves his ops-colored bishops. F3 looks like a really bad move. Weakening himself on the dark squares. That's like a super bad idea. James Brown. James Brown's super bad. It wasn't easy for White to defend that. Okay. So duck ads. We played before. Vishy the player. So we're streaming till 3, right? We're getting through these games pretty well. He lost to queen. E4. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get some bit donations, some subscriptions in there. And if not, then Sunday. Sunday Simul. Sunday Simul. Thanks again, Hartweiss and Nudel today. Sunday Simul is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, USA. For those of you that don't know, I do stream from Europe a lot, but I'm in the United States till the end of the summer at least. So we're going to be maintaining this kind of schedule, like Mondays and Fridays, maybe around 12:30, and then the other days when I stream every day but Saturday, I'm doing 5:30. Sunday is, gosh, I hate this kind of line. Sunday is a simul for 25 players. So Grishuk advances, and who's the other player who advanced, or is it over yet in the Moscow tournament? Well, Supreme, the good thing is that the openings are probably the easiest stage of the game to get better at, so you're in a good place. Who is the opponent for Grishuk then? I don't even know. Joe knows. Joe knows chess. I don't know. There he comes now. He's hitting his head on the wind chimes. You can hear the shadow of an international master, the sound of an international master coming in and out of the house. They make wind chime sounds. Retired international masters. Too shy to be on the stream. All right, A6. Oh, the Pomniachi and Wojtasek are going into tie breaks. Two good players. But I'm going all in on Grishuk. Can I bet on it online? Is there still like chess, online chess betting? Probably a safe bet. I mean, no bet is safe, but I mean, you're not going to get good odds though, and Grishuk has got to be the odds-on favorite. Betting on the favorite. Knight takes d4. It's weird Scheveningen. Scheveningen. Let's go with b5. I had one player who was like a cheater using an opening book against me some months ago. No, years ago actually now. and they hit me with the knight d5 in a position like this. And then I was like, oh, that's not right. And then I looked it up, and it was all already played. The player had just been following the opening book. But here I know that's not the case. That's going to be fun, though. Man, Grishuk had to win because in Rapid he would have been not even a favorite against Nakamura, probably. It would be a coin flip, I think, Grishuk against Nakamura in the Rapid time control. It's like Grishuk is the favorite in long, Naka's it's a flip in Rapid, and probably Naka's the favorite in Blitz. So it was really essential that he won that game. It was almost like a must-win game for Grishuk. Have to check it out. So let's see now. What do we do? Threatening that? Are you threatening me? 95. The 95, though, I mean, he goes back, and what am I going to do? G5? Grobbing good. Grobbing good, this G5. I love to play G5, but I just can't justify that. Just cold cock pawn sacrifice for nothing. In bullet chess, it's a great move. It's grobbing him with G5. Grobbing him of counterplay. Can I please play a game with you accidentally? Did with rating, no. But you can challenge me off stream sometime, but I don't want to do it now. People are waiting. People are waiting. Peoples, my peoples. Love to play G5. Bishops are overrated. It's a bad bishop. Damn. It's a really bad bishop. I don't even want to take it, it's so bad. But it's going to go back to e2 and resume its normal bishop activities at some point. So it makes you ask the question. This is weird, man. I'm going fully Novikov, Najdorf style. This looks a little weird. Queen b6, queen b7. I'm just getting weird now. I really ought to just play a normal move there. Queen c7 would be... I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm getting loopy. Move 11's up to 23 months, just like Clash Kid. Can we get a 24-month subscription? Is that possible? Have I been streaming long enough for anyone to have 24-month subscription? Or is 23 the max? Probably that's the max. Right? Move 11. You've been subscribing since the beginning. Asterbait, what about you? Did you miss a month somewhere? Move 11, thank you for subscribing. Subscribing again. Subscriptor. Here we're going to have problem. Bishop c6. What am I thinking? Like putting my queen on b7 anyway with a knight coming to a5. This was such a stupid move. Just basically wasted a tempo. Take and play a5 maybe. Three pieces for a queen. Now knight d5 is still, the horrors of knight d5 still haunting me here. $14 months. 16 months. Itronic Chess says, ironic chess, Itronic, has been following for almost 24 minutes. That's close. Close. Time's going fast these days, so. There it is, Queen b7. Itronic. The electronic eye on e4. So this worked out. We kept him off of a5. That was part number 1 in the plan. Second part was getting pressure on e4, eliminating his bishop pair. If queen g3, we just Novikov him up with like a pawn sacrifice or just castle. For a long time, I thought Novikov was missing, but he apparently showed up at the World Team Championship for the American team this year, so that was good to see. Igor still alive. Can he sack a queen? E5, queen takes f3, pawn takes... Nah, that's too much material. Do you have a 24-month badge ready? That would be a good idea. Berenson, KT, as in knight. 24-month badge. Nefedov, if anyone's 24 months, it would be Nefedov. I thought he had some kind of minor edge on the other subscribers. All the pieces in play now. Duck, duck, goose. Duck, duck, duck. There's a big weakness here. That's caving in. Starting to cave. I need a mod to develop his stream extras. Well, that's probably true. Actually, Astrobate, I need a lot of things. I need $1 million. My dad's joke whenever we went to eat, like in restaurants, was always like this really cheesy. When the waitress would ask what else we need, he'd be like, a pound of 50s. It got a little boring after a while. Like, first of all, people don't understand like what you mean. What do you mean a pound of 50s? Like $50 bills? Such a standard dad joke. Why'd you say before that you needed $1 million US? Well, it's like something everybody says, isn't it? Everybody needs $1 million. Like, that's just a kind of standard catchphrase. Just a random amount. I don't like literally need specifically $1 million. A little less or a little more would always do. So if you have a few 100,000 lying around, I recently had to take a loan from a large banking corporation. Unfortunately, I didn't want to have to do that, but sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, and that's the meaning of life, right? What do I do now? D5 looks good. There's this lurking threat of rook A7. Maybe G6, weakening my king side more. There's no time to start thinking, guys. Absolutely, this is not the time to start thinking. He's going for mate. Almost has it. I don't believe him. I mean, it's close. He's just playing on guesswork here. Totally speculating. Tax-free is better. I need a pint. I need another pint. I drank my beer, but it's too early to get drunk. My first threat of the entire game, basically. I try to build up slowly. By the time, I do that in poker a lot. Like, I play kind of solidly, and by the time I have a threat, people are just off guard. He's trading queens. Yeah. Okay. We'll trade queens now. Nope. I'm just a nice guy. I'm not trying to hurt you. Okay, guys, 15 minutes left. So that's time for at least one more game. Duck, duck, go. Almost mate. But it's not. Duck Dodgers. All right, let's get in at least another game. Downtime. This is my vacation, my weekly vacation from Friday afternoon till Saturday morning. I mean, that's about it. Usually. That's my weekend. I have half an off day. Knight f3, g6. All right, let's go. e4. It's not Tushar, right? There's some theories that Vichy the player was Tushar. Bob, what do you think about conspiracy theories? Are you big about conspiracy theories? If it was Tushar, he definitely wouldn't put down that he was from India. He would avert suspicion. It's not Tushar. Oh, Bob says it's him. Now I think it's like too counterintuitive. He would want to hide his true identity. Indie writers, like, I have no idea who he is, so no. There's like 1 billion people in India, right? How many billion people? Like, dude, the chances of it being him are not that high statistically, Bob. Someone on sound, camel culture? Low rated to be Tushar. No, that's like Tushar's real strength. Low rated to be Tushar cheating, right? It could be like a real Tushar. So this is for Asterbait, I guess. The other day I was looking at one of his games and he played like Bishop c4 against the Peerts. If you can play Bishop c4 against the Sicilian, I guess you can play it against the Peerts. A double bluff, exactly. It's a counter trick. Reverse psychology or whatever. That's the point. We use that a lot in poker. It's another level. You're thinking on the second level, the third level, the fourth level, whatever. He's taking it to another level. If he says he's from India, then, you know, everyone will think that it's not him because he would never say that he's from India. And you can just keep doing that. It's like, it's kind of like game theory, right? Basically. It's game theory. And that's another place where, you know, chess might have something in common with poker, for example. All right, what are we going to do here in this closed position? Because I love the closed Sicilian so much. Just couldn't resist playing it, basically. Basically, I say basically too much. It's a cross between the Sicilian and the King's Indian. Knight g5. Asterbait, don't play knight takes f7 in the middle game. You need your minor pieces, all right? What did we say? You don't know what game theory is? It's like it's sort of a branch of economics. Interesting stuff. So, I guess it could be like philosophy though. I mean, I don't know what it's really classified as. It's used in economics a lot. So knight g5. I had covered it in both philosophy and economics classes. Indie Writer says computer science algorithms too. Even our opponent is coming up with suggestions. I want to play f4, but am I in the right to want to do that so early? The attack. the attack wind chime strike again. Knight g5, h6, knight h3 with the idea of f4. I just can't decide. I feel like there's something here that I'm missing, and that's why I start using too much time. Chirpy bird. Knight h4. Damn it, I don't know what to do. I'm just wasting all my time for nothing. It's so frustrating. I literally don't know what I want to play here. Trying to make things work that don't work. Alright, let's just make a move. Whatever. Random move. h4. That's like probably reminding me of Chigorin. That's Chigorin would do that if he wasn't castled here, probably. You know, there's a famous game where he won with the sort of e4, e5 style game against another really famous classical player. I don't know, but that seems to me like a logical plan. Maybe h4 would be speculative even if you weren't castled, but if you're castled, yeah. Obviously, someone on sound is just kind of joking around at this point. So Vichy, the player. Tushar. Touche. But Vichy, the player, if you were Tushar, which you're not. So it doesn't matter what you say. If you were Tushar, which you're not, you wouldn't say you were Tushar. So it doesn't matter what you say, because whatever you say doesn't give us more information. We still don't know any more than we did when you said you weren't Tushar, you know. We're still in the same place because we can't. We know Tushar wouldn't be honest about it, basically. Wilhelm Steinitz. Maybe it was, yeah, maybe it was Chigorin against Steinitz. Information theory. Is that your field? Someone on sound? Information theory? Specialist. He's a specialist. How about my king here? How's my king doing? This is all I ever wanted to do in life. Play f4. I'm a little loopy, guys. It's a long stream. It's been a long week. I'm ready to get out of here. We have one more challenge from Sakamano. And then I'm going to binge on red wine or something. I don't know. b5. Okay, I can take, you take, I take, you take, I take, you take, I take. Or there's knight takes d6. That check, though, will hurt me. Check is in the mail. Obviously winning a pawn here. No, just kidding. That's what I was joking about yesterday. Just mean-spirited, like, things you can do to your opponent when you hate them. Pretend you're going to make a blunder by, like, hovering the piece over the square in and over the board game. Again, I reserve this only for people I hate because they did something bad to me personally. I would never do that to an innocent person. It's just... Berenzen, looking for subs. We're always looking for subs. Italian subs are preferred. You can never be too careful about your king. I'm from southern New Jersey originally, Bob, so meatball subs are good, but sort of Italian cold cut subs, the hoagies, as they call them. Hoagies are where we really, really start to get hungry. Okay, knight h5, knight f5. Classic. El Clasico. I love when I get to do this. I'm not sure how crushing this is, but it might cause some confusion in the enemy camp. Camping. Give me that. The bad bishop. Get out. Stay out. Get out and stay out. You think the acerbate maneuver will work in this position? How's our acerbate maneuver looking, acerbate? No dice. No dice on the acerbate maneuver. Italian subs. Finest dining experience. And otherwise lackluster diners. It's funny, I don't really associate like Italian subs with diners. That's like another, that's almost like another level of New Jersey cuisine. I mean, I guess you could probably order an Italian sub at a diner, but it's kind of usually hot food. Bishop h6 check. He sidestepped it. The sidewinder. You meant Delhi. There you go. Now you're into New York City territory. Stay away from the chalupa. He's panicking as the pressure mounts on the F file. Alekhine sub. Oh no, that can't work. That's not allowed to work. Please don't have mate. Surplus. An army surplus store. I can still do it. I can still lose this game. He offered a draw, I think. Okay, guys, last game, just for your entertainment value. Just for your entertainment value. We got everything. Thinking Taco Bell. Chalupas. Don't touch my chalupa. Do they still do chalupas? I haven't been to Taco Bell in like 10 years, probably. Does it still exist? Chalupas? Do chalupas exist? Well, ask Bob. He's probably an expert on Taco Bell. They still exist. Another question. Does Taco Bell have, what are they called, franchises in other countries besides the United States? Like Canada probably for sure. I'm gonna guess they probably have in Canada. I don't think I've ever seen one in Europe. Taco Bell's not surprisingly, I mean, probably still in Canada, but I'm curious about like, does it exist in any European countries? I mean, like in Hungary, we have, you know, Burger King, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, even. Do you guys think I'm hungry? Possibly. All right, I'm gonna take it easy on you, Bob. The engine always likes ED in this type of structure. No Taco Bells in Europe. You'd think that's kind of weird, isn't it? Europeans would probably be more welcoming of Mexicans. All right. Maybe not. We got a problem there too. Mexican food. There's lots of Mexican restaurants in Budapest. Lots of good stuff. So what's the best food you found in your current location there? Someone on sound. Anything good? Burger King is terrible. But you know what's funny? Like the Burger Kings in Hungary are better than the ones in the United States. Like the ones in the United States, it's kind of like internet. Burger Kings in the United States are gross. I wanted to like report. There's one that is near where I live. It's like it should be reported to like the health department. It's not clean. It's like they haven't remodeled it in 20 years. But Burger Kings in Budapest are like kept nice, you know. It's sort of hysterical. The Budapest Hungarian Burger King is a much higher level than American Burger King. So weird. So Asabate must have looked it up. I'm gonna go for a pawn snack. Oh, Jim had Burger King in Budapest. I still don't like Burger King that much, but it is definitely better than American Burger King. All right. So knight d4. Bob didn't want this pawn. I don't think he even knew about it. Interesting move, Bob. Clearance sale. We have a clearance sale on open diagonals. They have Burger King Kosovo. Wait, resigned? Wait, what? What? Did I miss something? Why did you resign, dude? I want you to unresign now. And I'll finish you off with my slight advantage. No, this is a totally unacceptable. I don't accept a resignation. Apparently Bob hallucinated that he was losing material. He forgot it's his turn. So he's not losing anything. What a way to end the stream. Bobby boy. It was very kind of you. Very generous, as usual. Alright guys, thanks for joining me. I'm going to be back on Sunday. So, congratulations to our vanquisher, Camel Clutcher. Camel Culture. Okay. No clutching. We'll see you guys back Sunday. Simul, 25 players. 5:30 Eastern Time. Bye-bye. You're not talking like the real Panda. What are you doing? I'm not going to let you do commercials anymore. Bye-bye, guys. Thanks, everybody. And I'll see you for the Simul on Sunday. Take care.